Hey, this is BRAINWAVEZ and I'm gonna show you how to make halftime like Jade Cicada. As always, the full project file and presets are available on my Patreon, along with 50 plus other project files and presets for a really good price. I drop new ones every month, so hit the link in the description if you want to get them, and let's get started. So the BPM for this project is 170, and for the drums, they sound like this. They are on a heavy triplet groove. The second part of the drop, I added a ride. And just as a quick tip, if you want to write something in triplets, I would highly recommend to right click on the grid and set to triplet grid. That way it's just easier to know where to set the drums. The drums consist of a kick drum, snare, hi-hat, and ride. Now going into the basses, the first bass that you hear is this one. But before that, let me show you what I have in the main group for all the basses, all the synths. So I have my sidechain already in place with the utility, then a reverb throw rack, and this is helping a lot with the groove. If I take that out, it's just a little bit more static, but with this, it creates a nice effect. Then I also have an EQ, just boosting the mids and the highs. If I take it out, I just feel like it makes everything a little bit cleaner and clearer and just brings up some of the frequencies that this drop needs to be more powerful and energetic. So yeah, then going into the first bass. This one starts with a saw wave, 2 voices of unison, and a little bit of phase distortion from B. I'm modulating the tuning in here with this LFO, and also this LFO is going to the filter. The filter has these values, and then I'm gonna add a second oscillator, another saw wave but 2 octaves up, and then in the second LFO I'm modulating the phase distortion amount. Going into the effects, I have distortion, tube mode, and single band compression. Outside of the patch, I'm automating the pitch bend. If I just disable that automation, sounds like that. So this is helping a little bit with the movement. Pretty subtle, but it does help a little. And then I have erosion. Really bring up the top end, and I'm just boosting a little bit on some areas and decreasing on others with this EQ. So that's for the first bass. Then I have a sub bass, and this one is just sine wave with some harmonics. The envelope looks like this, and then there is a little bit of soft clip and distortion. Pretty simple sub. And outside of the patch, I'm just cutting everything above 100. Now let's move to the main bass. So this one has a good amount of things going on at the same time, but I'll do my best to explain everything that is happening. So I started with a sine wave, then I enabled a saw wave, and I had bend plus minus in here, and the envelope one, which has this shape and is controlling the envelope of the sound, it's also being mapped to this modulation. And there is some phase distortion from B happening in here, 20%. Check that the volume of both of this is at 100%. and the random phase is 0 and 0. Then I enable a third oscillator, and this one is with the Monster 4 wavetable, and I'm using envelope 2, which has these parameters to modulate the wavetable position, once again band plus minus, and the level, and check that this one the phase is at 231 instead of 180. So that's how that sounds. Then let's enable this noise generator, which I'm using the snare rim sample. You cannot hear much of it as of right now. It's pretty subtle. Once I enable the effects, it's going to be a little bit more noticeable, but these are the values. Then I have a filter with these values, affecting only oscillator A and B. And now I'm gonna move to the effects. So I have distortion, sine fold, single band compression, then I have this reverb filter, and I'm modulating the cutoff with the envelope 1. A little bit of reverb. Then this EQ just cutting a little bit on the low mids because they were a bit too resonant. And diffuser. Which I think is really bringing up the character of the sound. Then outside of the patch I have this saturator. Doing a little bit of a push, medium curve, almost 2 dBs and 35% of dry wet. Finally, I'm just cutting everything below 100 because I have this up for that, and I'm boosting a little bit on the 5K area. Then I have a variation of that bass in the second part of the drop, which sounds like this. And that one is pretty similar to the bass one. As I said, it's a variation, but in this one, I'm automating the phase distortion outside. As you can see in here, there's an automation of the phase distortion. Also, I changed the phase of the oscillator C back to 180. In the previous one, it was like at 231. Besides that, it's pretty similar. The only other thing, if I'm not mistaken, is that I don't have the diffuser filter at the end, as you can see. And yeah, that creates a nice variation. Then the post-processing outside of the patch is pretty much the same. Both of these two basses have a layer, which is this one. This one is pretty similar to both of the basses that I just showed you, but in here the oscillator B wavetable position is a sine wave. It's 2 octaves up, and then the band plus minus modulation is different. In here I changed the filter for a bandpass. And the snare rim noise, it's louder, just to give it like a more attacky sound. Really helping out. And post-processing, you can see that the effects are pretty much the same. And outside of the patch, I just put amp and saturation again. And I'm cutting everything below 300 on this one. So yeah, that's how the 3 layers sound together. And for the second part, yeah, then I have a pitch down bass, which in this one is just a saw and a sine wave, and the LFO is doing that pitch movement with the main tuning modulation, as you can see in here. Main tuning, bipolar mode, 19% with this shape and this rate. And I'm changing the rate because this time needs to be like a longer pitch down. So it's 1/2 triplets, and then in here is 1/4 triplets. Outside of the patch, I put some erosion. And that's about it. Let me show you the effects in here. Some hyper dimension, soft clip distortion, compression, single band, and reverb. Then I also have a filter. This is just like shaping a little bit of the sound. Yeah. Then the other basses that I have, like bass fills, they're just samples of mine from my Patreon preset packs. So here's one. This is actually on reverse. Normally sounds like this, but I put it in reverse and I added some erosion to it. Then I have this other one, which is just one section, but it's normally like that. And I also put some erosion into it. And that's pretty much everything for the project. I hope this has been helpful. As usual, this whole project file and the presets are available on my Patreon, along with plus 50 other project files and presets that you can get. Also, I'm doing one-on-one coaching and mix and mastering gigs. If you're interested in that, feel free to check the link in the description. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you around.